mercy. Please, please.
There is no mercy.
Today, we find out why AMD CPUs are burning, and there's a big scumbag in this. Your GPU needs this. AMD's mainstream GPU gets pictured, and NVIDIA's unleashing a monster GPU. Welcome everyone to Gamer Meld. First up for today, oh boy, do I have an update on AMD's burning Ryzen 7000 X3D chips. If you haven't seen my stories on this, a user on Reddit shared some images of a destroyed Ryzen 7800 X3D. Later it became clear that others shared a similar issue. Since then, motherboard makers have been frantically releasing BIOS updates to try and fix it. Well, now we finally have what looks to be the problem, but this ultimately became less about the Ryzen CPUs and more about ASUS. Before I get to all that though, let's talk about what happened. According to some pretty incredible detective work by Gamers Nexus, one of the main causes is SoC voltages getting too high. Originally, we thought that this was due to Expo memory profiles allowing it, and that's sort of true, but it's not actually from AMD. Motherboard vendors, with the main culprit being ASUS, sort of have their own Expo profiles that change things like the SoC voltage. AMD's regular Expo doesn't contain a VSOC number. Another problem was the fact that quite a few motherboard vendors don't have the right shutoff temp for their X3D chips, and there were some other bugs as well. Basically, quite a few issues are going on here, but this has ultimately become a referendum on ASUS. Wow, have they screwed up. I mean, wow. One of the main things the company did when all of this went down was to release an updated BIOS that actually states in it that if you install it and something goes wrong, you void your warranty. Get this though, that update still had voltages too high, meaning ASUS's motherboards came with software that can damage your CPU. They then released a fix that people would obviously want to use, but installing that voids your warranty. You'd be better off just letting your CPU fry, especially given once it starts down that path, lowering the voltage won't fix its inevitable death. Oh, and that update was apparently only made for internal testing from AMD, yet ASUS released it anyway. All in all, the company seems to have really tarnished their name with some really messed up practices. I definitely won't be suggesting them like I have in the past. But first, with new CPUs and GPUs coming out, make sure you're ready with Meld Alerts, the completely free sign up that sends you an email when new PC hardware is releasing. Because let's be honest, keeping up with all the new PC hardware releases can be tricky. And don't worry, I'll only tell you important stuff like CPUs, GPUs, etc. Plus I'll send you great deals as those come out as well. That way you won't have to worry when new PC hardware is releasing. So yeah, it's completely free at meldalerts.com and it only takes you a couple seconds. So make sure to check that out below. Next up for today, I've covered the fact that modern games are beginning to require more and more VRAM for a little while now. Well, it looks like the issue isn't just affecting PCs. In a new report from Tech Power Up, it looks like gamers are running into VRAM bottlenecks on Microsoft's Xbox Series S, the lower-end Xbox that comes with far less VRAM than the Xbox Series X. This was already a known issue given last year, Microsoft announced that an updated SDK would allow more memory to be used in game development on the Xbox Series S. Well, just recently, a user on Reddit shared an image of an Xbox error code they received while playing Borderlands 3. In the error, it states, quote, "Out of video memory trying to allocate a rendering resource. Make sure your video card has the minimum required memory. Try lowering the resolution and/or closing other applications that are running. Exiting." So yeah, it seems the Xbox Series S can run out of memory. Now, plenty of people seem to blame the issue on developers, but remember that a lot of games today are built on a one-size-fits-all engine like Unreal Engine, and Unreal Engine 5 can allegedly be bad with memory. Regardless, whether it's developers or not, VRAM usage seems to be going up by quite a bit. And next up, we finally get to see AMD's RX 7600 GPU. If you remember in my last video, I showed the Sapphire Pulse box that was on store shelves in Asia. And if you enjoy learning about new hardware like this, even before it's announced, make sure you subscribe to GamerMeld. Anyway, we now have a story from Video Cards that gives us our first look at the actual card. The Pulse is Sapphire's lower end card under their Nitro series, so this is a simple dual fan design. It's a bit different from their 6600 7600 design, but very similar. There aren't any RGB lights on it that I can see. It's also been confirmed that this comes with a single 8-pin power connector, so it can't pull more than 225 watts. Remember that the 7600 is rumored to launch on May 25th, and it comes with 32 CUs or 2048 cores, 32 megabytes of Infinity Cache, and only 8 gigabytes of VRAM. That last part obviously sucks given the previous story, but at the end of the day, this is a more mainstream GPU. Time will tell how well it performs. And lastly for today, I recently covered a video by Red Gaming Tech, which went over some interesting news on Nvidia's RTX 5000 GPUs. Well, he also discussed another story about Nvidia that's just as interesting. According to the video, his sources told him that Nvidia's RTX 4090 Ti is likely dead, at least for now. Instead, Nvidia is focusing on their next Titan GPU. Remember that earlier this year, we actually saw a Titan or 4090 Ti engineering sample, probably the same looking card either way, and it's of course massive. Well, according to Red Gaming Tech, the new Ada Lovelace Titan likely comes with 142 SMs or 18,176 CUDA cores. That's obviously not much more than the RTX 4090, but the big news is that we're apparently also looking at a whopping 48 gigabytes of VRAM, meaning double that of the 4090, so you definitely wouldn't run out anytime soon. Of course, the Titan cards are more aimed at professionals than gamers, but there would definitely be a ton of gamers that buy it. According to the report, Nvidia is working on more than one variant, so the final specs are still up in the air, but either way you look at it, Nvidia is apparently working on an absolute monster of a GPU, though one that definitely won't be nice to your wallet. So while that does it for today, are you pumped for a new Titan GPU, or are you more ready for mainstream GPUs? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.